Hi, I'm Clara Botto, and along with my colleagues Asima Kamelmoni and Laurent Martin, we wrote the science policy brief Solar Radiation Modification and Youth Perspectives on its Governance. So, solar radiation modification, or SRM, are emerging climate technologies that can artificially cool the planet and thus give us more time in fighting the climate crisis. While we believe that international frameworks for SRM governance are extremely necessary, we believe that for them to be inclusive, it is vital that then they can effectively and meaningfully include young people in their governance processes.
So we are facing a climate crisis, which is intrinsically intergenerational, and the decisions we make today will impact the future of the next generations. So when we are talking about these emerging technologies like solar radiation modification, it is crucial that young people's voices are heard and they actively participate in the decision-making process, because they're the closest link to the generations yet to come, and they will be responsible in ensuring decent livelihoods for them. Therefore, we need to provide proper training and access to information to young people so that they can be included in solar radiation modification and its governance discussions in a relevant, legitimate, and non-tokenistic way. Through this, we can also popularize the science among youth, which will help to build awareness and understanding of solar radiation modification and the dire need of its effective governance. The sooner young people understand solar radiation modification, the better prepared they will be for taking positions at the decision-making table, and by considering them as full-blown actors, we will also ensure in fostering a sense of ownership and responsibility to them about this technology, and this will eventually lead to a more informed and engaged public. Let us work together in making sure that discussions around solar radiation modification and its governance is happening and being conducted in a transparent, accountable, and inclusive way, so that we can pave the way for a sustainable and equitable future for the generations to come.
In order to better include young people in climate policy and in solar radiation modification governance, whether it be to control or to completely ban these technologies, well, young people should be considered once and for all as real actors, and not only as observers anymore. This has to go through education to gain more legitimacy and access evidence-based information on climate change science and these technologies, because nobody could pretend to set relevant and efficient policies on climate change and these technologies if they don't understand the details and the real situation we find ourselves in today. But young people's ideas should also be better collected, and means should be given to young people so that they can better organize themselves and better communicate with policymakers. And last, but actually most importantly, many more young people should be hired in research, in public and in diplomatic services, so that they can be considered as real actors in the decision-making process.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the presentation of our science policy brief for the UN SDG STI Forum 2023. Our brief, Concrete Carbon Dioxide and Catalysis, aims to merge industry and research goals to present a unified approach towards sustainable development. Here, we provide an overview of carbon dioxide from concrete, research underway towards net zero emissions, and finally, what policies and actions may help us accelerate sustainable action.
So, cement. The main component of concrete is responsible for approximately 8% of global carbon dioxide emissions. So a question comes to mind, why is the manufacturing of cement so carbon intensive? There are two reasons. One reason is that during cement production, limestone is heated to very high temperature in furnaces, which releases carbon dioxide from the limestone. Another reason is that furnaces used in cement production must run at very high temperatures, that is around 1500 degrees centigrade. And this requires a lot of energy, often from fossil fuels, which also contributes to the carbon footprint of cement production. Overall, it takes around 0.9 kg of carbon dioxide to produce 1 kg of cement, and given the enormous amounts of cement produced annually, this quickly adds up. There are several approaches that can be taken to reduce the carbon dioxide output during the production of cement. At production stage, we can use waste-derived fuels, solar-powered calciners, and new types of cement such as limestone calcined clay cement LC3. We can also capture carbon dioxide for storage or utility through CCUS technologies. Collectively, these approaches would help in reducing the carbon footprint during the cement production. Similarly, at consumer stage, alternative cements such as LC3 or geopolymer cement can be used. Supplementary cementitious materials can also be used. The concrete design can be optimized with innovative technologies such as 3D concrete printing. Requirement-based or sufficiency-based approach can also be adopted. Also, the use of nano-reinforcement can be opted for achieving a desired strength of the concrete instead of using high amount of cement. Additionally, at construction stage, workflows can be simulated with automatic techniques such as building information modeling and prefabricated structural elements at quality control sites. In the circular economy of concrete, recycled aggregate concrete can be used and carbon dioxide can be sequestered or re-assimilated in natural environments. These solutions can help achieve a more sustainable construction industry.
However, we need to overcome some hurdles to ensure our research is adopted by the industry first. Significant R&D investment is required to enact these net zero measures at a large scale. Practical results would then incentivize clients to adopt greener practices, especially if these practices are marketed towards the clients. Simultaneously, building standards of the construction industry should be flexible and continuously updated to allow for net zero construction. Major stakeholders in the industry should work in tandem towards establishing a concrete culture. The governing authority should adapt stricter policies and regulations for concrete construction. Awareness campaigns will educate society in general and motivate net zero construction movements. Lastly, efficient and reusable design should be prioritized, along with retrofitting existing cement plants. This concludes our video presentation for the Science Policy Brief. We encourage you to read our articles and our cited sources for a more detailed overview. My name is Dr. Taimur Mazar-Sheikh, and I was joined by Dr. Habib Ahmed in this presentation. Thank you for giving us your time.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Dr. Marlene Kanga, and I was president of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations from 2017 to 2019. I'm presenting a policy brief on the implementation of sustainable water infrastructure for the City of Sydney. From 2014 to 2023, I was a member of the board of Sydney Water Corporation, a government-owned entity responsible for providing water services to the City of Sydney. And for 6 years, I was chair of the Planning and Infrastructure Committee that provided leadership and governance for the development of sustainable water infrastructure strategies for Greater Sydney. The roadmap that I'm presenting in the policy brief here today is structured around the Global Sustainable Development Report 2023, Levers for Transformation. And it addresses the 5 levers that have been mentioned, including governance, individual and collective action, the role of engineering and technology, especially for innovation, capacity building, and financing. The vision and strategy for Greater Sydney was developed by the Greater Sydney Commission, and it focused on the existing city called the Harbour City, the Central City shown here in red, but most importantly, the newly and fast developing Western Sydney, shown here in yellow. The heart of this development is Western Sydney International Airport, which will become operational in 2025 and trigger an enormous growth in population and related services, including education, recreation, and industries. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to develop sustainable infrastructure for Western Sydney. It provides opportunities for recycling and reuse of water and for reuse of organic and food waste to generate biomethane for energy generation, and also for the use of smart new technologies for sustainable development. Importantly, this $10 billion investment over 30 years does not incur any additional costs for the sustainable investment strategies that have been developed. These strategies have been led by the board of Sydney Water, which has been committed to advancing the UN Sustainable Development Goals and to various aspects and targets, including a climate resilient city and net zero carbon targets. You can see here some of the strategies that have been developed, including the Advanced Water Recycling Center, which will be the heart of the circular economy in Western Sydney, the development of new approaches to capture stormwater to enable a green canopy for the city, and the cooling and greening benefits, of course, will have enormous economic, social, and environmental benefits. And here on the right, you see the use of artificial intelligence combined with data obtained from IoT devices for predictive and maintenance, which is much more sustainable and efficient. Individuals have been empowered with behind-the-meter and smart meter technologies to manage their water use, to recycle, and to reuse. And here on the right, you see the use of robotics for the inspection of critical mains, also enhancing the safety of staff at Sydney Water. And finally, financing has been used using sustainability bonds. The bonds are aligned to the attainment of sustainable targets, an innovative way for promoting sustainable development through financial methods. I hope you find this useful in implementing sustainable development infrastructure in your own cities. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dr. Ahmed Khalifa, Professor of Economics at Qatar University College of Business and Economics. Together with my team, we are trying to solve the climate change through market mechanism or market tools. There are several tools that can be used.
Hello, my name is Mustafa Afajan. I earned my PhD degree in economics from Stanford University in 2012, and I joined Qatar University as Associate Professor of Economics in 2022. My research interests are matching theory, market design, and their applications.
In fact, there is a coming danger because of the climate change. So we need a comprehensive solution starting from behavioral change, carbon pricing, and technology at the same time to overcome this issue. Achieving the goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 Celsius by 2050 requires worldwide net zero CO2 emission. Carbon pricing, in fact, is a key to achieve this goal and has to be mandatory. Based on our studies, we have found a significant impact of carbon pricing in more than 24 countries around the globe who apply the carbon pricing, and they reduce their CO2 emission and consequently achieving their targets. We combine the economic theory, algorithm, and technology to provide a carbon pricing mechanism.
What is carbon pricing? It is a very simple idea. A firm can exceed its carbon emission only if it has a permit, carbon permit. On the other side, if a firm falls short its cap, then it can sell its unused carbon permit. So through this trade, the carbon pricing aims to decrease, incentivize firms to decrease their carbon emissions. Okay, but however, if you just look at the current practice, how these trades are made among the firms, we see an inefficient market, in the sense that the current practice in this carbon pricing market is totally decentralized. The firms need to approach the other firms to see their trading opportunities. However, this generates a lack of information as to market opportunities to each firm. So thus, this decreases the trade volume that otherwise would happen, hence it makes the market thinner, yielding inefficient allocations. To avoid all of these problems, we propose a centralized auction. In this centralized auctions, suppose many permits to be allocated among firms. Each firm individually submits its bids for each additional permit. So once each firm submits their bids, the governor of this auction collects all of these bids and run a certain auction. And in that auction, what is going on? We basically order the highest bids in order of their magnitudes. And then the top K of them are the winning bids, and then the rest are all the losing bids. And if a firm has, let's say, 3 winning bids, then that firm acquires three permits. If a firm has 2 winning bids, then that firm received 2 permits. Then the next question is that what firms will pay in return of these permits. If a firm has 3 permits, 3 winning permits, then it has to pay the sum of the 3 highest losing bids. Let's give an example and everything is gonna be much more clear. Let's suppose that there are 3 firms, IJK, and 6 permits. And let's suppose that this BI, BJs, and BKs are their bids. If we order the bids in decreasing order, we got the winning bids as the 6 highest bids, and the losing bids are the rest. And if we see that the firm I has 3 winning bids, hence receiving 3 permits. And what it's gonna pay? It's gonna pay the sum of the 3 highest losing bids, which accounts for 72. Firm J has only 1 winning bid, hence obtains 1 permit, and it needs to pay the highest losing bid, which is 32. And then firm K has 2 winning bids, and it has to pay the sum of 2 highest losing bid, which accounts for 60. So we mathematically show that this algorithm, this auction algorithm, yields efficient carbon allocation as well as efficient carbon prices. And moreover, it is transparent, so that every firm knows how the algorithm works before submitting their bids. And it is also simple in the sense that firms do not need to strategize their bids, in the sense that their best interest is to submit their real valuations.
Now, what is the policy recommendation from our study? Number 1 is market pricing mechanism is a must. Number 2, there are several tools for market mechanism, including carbon taxes, ETS system, and also we provide something called price reform for the energy sector in general. At the end, we are available for any question and any help for the state of Qatar and any country around the globe who are interested to apply our market mechanism.
New societal trends, presuming circular economy, digitalization, sharing economy, and others can have potentially large decreasing impacts on energy consumption, as well as cross-sectoral demand shifts, which may also lead to a substantial increase in energy demand if unaccompanied by policy instruments. The question is how to analyze quantitatively how new societal trends interact with energy efficiency policies in different countries, how they can be efficiently integrated into long-term energy scenarios, and how global energy policies could be designed in more harmonized manner to take these trends meaningfully into account. While scenarios present a major step forward beyond previous modeling approaches by integrating new societal trends, much more progress is needed to enhance the empirical basis for such trends and their representation in models. These results can be used to inform the policymakers how energy policies have to be improved to reduce energy demand by storing synergetic new societal trends.